Welcome back to the SKID factory. Over the years we've built some pretty cool cars, and most of those cars have either belonged to close friends or friends of friends. This project here is Al's MS55 Crown. It's a very special project. This has been going on for 14 years. So not only does it mean a lot to Al, but it also means a lot to me because I've been around for most of those years too. We've called in a lot of favours over the years with friends. Working on cars is never easy, so you've always got to call upon someone to help you out when you don't know what you're doing. When there's deadlines involved like this car, we've got to get this car ready for Al's eldest son's formal. So the deadline's coming up and we're running out of time. So this weekend we've called in some favours for some friends and we're going to collate the homies and get the job done.
Woody and I have been pretty flat out during the week. We've been concentrating on trying to get the car to a state where we can roll it if we need to, so we can get at things that might be in the way of the hoist. So the diff, Matt Rogan finally put it together after we've been waiting for the axles to turn up. So it's all assembled now, just got to put some oil in it. It's looking pretty good. It's a big unit. Got the Zestinos on there on my fancy wheels.
What are they, 255s?
255 60s, yeah.
Nice.
I've just finished putting all the brakes on, so it's got AU Falcon rear brakes on it, so good handbrake. Same matching calipers to the front brakes. The hopper stoppers are on the front. So everything's working out pretty good. We've just got to do handbrake cables and brake lines now to the rear here, and then that's all finished. I've ordered the tail shaft off Ultra 9. I think it's going to be like a chrome ollie 3.5 inch. That's coming. We need that before we make the exhaust, so everything sort of goes in stages. Everything else has pretty much come together, so we're about to get stuck into wiring, putting windows in, just all the things we got to do. There's a lot of work on, so let's get stuck into it.
So it's currently Friday. Timmy, how are you, man?
I'm good, mate. How are you? Good to see you.
Timmy's been on the show before, Crimp My Ride, and also 16
Industries.
Is Crimp My Ride still a thing, or was that?
Oh, yeah, it is. It's still a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Stuff for people when they need it.
Rightio. So we did a video with Timmy. I'll link it in the corner. Point to this corner over here, Timmy. Yeah, that's the one. Oh! We did a EFI versus Carby on a Datsun 1600. So cool little video.
Yeah, I did that one, and I helped you on the back in the day on the Falcon.
You may remember Tim from such episodes.
That's right. Almost friends.
Whoa, there we go.
What was it? Springs. We've also got John. Hey, John.
How you going?
How are you, mate? John is a fellow Datsun owner and Pajero owner. My man. Very skilled. So it's currently Friday. The task right now is, well, we just got it off the hoist. We're going to roll it out so we can do some wiring.
Definitely going to have to cut some coils off that bad boy.
You can't say that on YouTube. We have to change.
Well, how do you think they trimmed them in the first place?
Sorry, Super Pro Springs.
There we go, there we go. We've documented wiring in many episodes of the SKID factory, but this time we're letting Tim steer the ship. A spool of old 240 volt house light wiring is being used to initially trace out the location of the loom and note where any inputs or outputs are positioned. Tim, Al and John have brainstormed for the last week discussing what's required so that no item is missed. This includes wiring for the engine management, but also other items like headlights, tail lights, water pumps and the ignition switch.
Switch goes on, switch goes off, switch goes on, switch goes off, switch goes on, switch goes off.
Power distribution and engine management is being controlled by a Haltech Nexus R5 and a PD16, which communicate via CAN and display vital information on the IC7 digital dash. A CAN keypad is also used for other user-switched functions. John's knocking on the Nexus like a caveman.
What's that?
John's like, oh, this thing's still solid.
Yeah, all right.
Raceworks 145 psi pressure and temperature sensors are being used to log essential data like oil pressure and coolant temperature.
A boost control solenoid is also being wired to control the bypass valve on the Harrop supercharger to assist with power management.
Billet.
A billet battery bracket is mounted within the boot and 4-gauge cable is routed within the cabin up to a bulkhead on the firewall. The cable is insulated at any points that are required. Tim's trace loom is laid onto a template board. The location of each input or output is noted at separate tie-down points. The Haltech loom is then placed over the template and each wire can be routed to the correct location and then roughly cut to length.
Old man yells at clouds. Saturday morning, we're stuck into it. There's a big crew here. We've got Timmy almost finished the wiring layout for the Haltech PD16 that's in the boot, so that's controlling all the tail lights and fuel pumps and whatnot. So that's all nearly done. So what do we got left to do, mate?
We've laid the harness out off the template. We made our template last night on the plywood. We've now sheathed it. We've got approximate length, so really all we need to do is offer it up to the car, cut to length and terminate for the specific things that they connect to. There's a fair bit going on in the boot. There's not just the chassis side of things like the tail lights, but there's fuel pressure sensors and fuel pumps and ethanol content sensors and a whole bunch of things which they'll feed into the PD16, and then via CAN bus will go to the Haltech Nexus R5 up the front.
So can you tell me, Alan, why a PD16 and a Nexus, just for the young players like me?
Okay, so it's probably a little bit of overkill, but because we could, I suppose. It's basically, we probably would have just run out of, especially the 25 amp outputs with just the R5. So that's what these are designed for, is to be able to add on and put remotely, so all the communication's done back and forth between the Nexus and this, or even an Elite and this. You can run these with an Elite as well.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
If you've got NSP software.
Yeah.
You can also just replace your fuse box. That's probably a pretty big thing that these are good for, is just getting rid of the fuse box that you would normally use and replacing it with this, so you've got zero chance of failure as far as relays, fuses. It's actually very simple compared to especially to wire, compared to wiring up a bunch of relays and fuses and stuff. This is really easy.
Awesome. So Timmy, this PD16, you're making jokes about fridges and phone chargers in the back there.
I wasn't joking.
So can we actually run a fridge off this, can we?
We've got some spare outputs in the back, these 25 amp outputs, and we should be able to run, you name it, if it's 12 volt, we should be able to run it up to 25 amps. So
What about one of those camp oven things?
like a pie warmer. We were thinking a Summer Nats fridge in the back, and then a pie warmer as well.
How good would that be?
So very cold lemon squash, and just smash some 4 and 20s.
Face burning 4 and 20s. If you're not peeling off the top of your roof of your mouth, they're too cold.
Righto.
So yeah, we've got plenty of outputs here. It is a bit of overkill, but we would have run out of those high current outputs.
Righto. Sweet.
So this is something I've spoke to Al about. We looked at just doing an Nexus R5, but decided that if we ran up to a PD16, then with that Haltech product, we're not going to have any limitations about things that we can run.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
We can run big fuel pumps. We can run a lemon squash fridge and a pie warmer, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, wicked.
Woody's got his management roll down pat. He's got everyone doing something. Gav's here, Hacko owner.
Hi, Gavin.
He's just sorting out some door handles. It's all just little things that still have to be done, so it's all important. As is wiring expert from way back. He's converting some old 50-year-old taillight looms into Deutsch connected. Yeah, the two Johns, John with a H, John without a H. They're on fuel system, and Clado looks like he's just come to say hi, but I'm going to put him to work.
I'm going to do some sanding.
some sanding.
It's a comic relief.
All right, awesome. What do you got here in your hand, Alan?
This is the fuel pump that we're using. So we are using one fuel pump. This is a brushless TI Automotive. EFP 723 is the Raceworks part number. It's actually, so it's a brushless pump. So it's actually an AC motor that has a big box that John's got over here that looks like an amplifier from 1983.
I thought that was for the stereo. It's for the subwoofer, isn't it?
So that takes 12 volt and converts it to like AC 3-phase, feeds it into this, and it is 900 horsepower capable.
Yeah, wicked.
That little tiny pump, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty amazing.
So that's a fairly new thing.
And that goes into the fuel cell. How big is that fuel cell again? That's massive over there, isn't it?
20 gallon or 76 litre, I think it is.
Quick math?
Basically the biggest one because it's a pretty big engine, so probably best that we don't run out of fuel every 20 metres.
We've got some other accessories in the boot there too, Alan. Explain those. What we've got
All
going
right,
on.
this is a fairly new thing as well. That's a flex sensor bypass. So you can. The problem with flex sensors is they sometimes actually, on big fuel systems, we create a restriction on the return flow because they've only got 3/8 outlets on them. So this is something that Raceworks has come up with. It's on the feed line. Well, you can use it on the return, I suppose, but we use it on the feed. And it's just a bypass. You can see the
holder right there. Yeah, I can see the bypass. Yeah.
So that's going to give you your composition and temperature sample.
Sweet.
So it's all going to work as normal, but not restrict the flow.
And
So
we've also got fuel filter.
the fuel filter. We've got a Raceworks pressure temperature sensor. We'll only use the pressure side of that because this has a temperature measurement function as well.
And we've got a go fast pitch regulator somewhere too. Here we go.
John's got the reg. So
on display.
I'm actually running a deadhead system again, which I like. So I think a lot of people don't like it, but I do. So it just cleans up everything and it works perfectly fine. Probably why every car ever made now has the same setup. So this goes in there, all that stuff goes there, lots of fittings and bits of Raceworks, and eventually goes to the front to the engine.
What you shouting for lunch? What's your wife making for lunch?
She's actually making party pies and sausage rolls.
Nice.
I think I've worked out what PD16 means. I think it means pies, drinks.
16 drinks?
I don't know if they make a 16 drinks. I could have 16 pies though, that'd be alright.
John and John have the fuel system layout sorted in no time. Meanwhile, Gav, Clayton and Brad have been given the task to clean and assemble the doors.
We're at the stage where we're allocating inputs and outputs to the Haltech Nexus R5. Something cool is you can connect your R5 up by just a USB cable on the bench and nominate those inputs and outputs, so when it comes to laying out your harness it's a lot easier. So here I've got the Haltech NSP, the Haltech NSP software open, and we're allocating inputs and outputs to it. So next will be the PD16.
Timmy just configured the pie warmer, so she's working good.
These are pretty much work. She's got to work from home. That's all we can do to the hospital.
Maybe D stands for dim sim, pies and dim sims.
Pies and dimmies, yeah. That's it.
It's so much easier work.
This is Alan's air conditioning, by the way.
Our good mate Sebi has polished majority of the trims, but there was still a few items that needed some loving. The Tool Pro polishing wheels worked a treat when it came to restoring the chrome.
Hey homies, give me a big smile. Yeah, that's it. Aaron, smile for me. Yeah, dog.
Grab some sunnies. Sebi's like, yes.
What are you selling?
I don't mind.
As the day went on, it was eventually time for a lemon squash, but not for the grommet. He was too busy learning how to wire a Haltech.
If Gussie can work this out, anyone can work it out. You just got to be patient, have a go, take your time. You might learn something.
Drink a lemon squash.
Have a lemon squash if you get cross.
Eat a dim sim.
Have a dimmy and a pie when you implement your dimmy and a pie is the key to it all.
The progress we've made this weekend has been absolutely monumental. We've done so much work. Everyone's still hooking in. Good morning, homies.
Morning.
Ahoy. Gab's on the sanding duties for the grill. Sebi's doing the trims. Looks like he's doing something else. You got a nice forearm there, Sebi. Dave's just fiddled with the hole saws and organised them all now and sweeping the floors. John's on the trims. Pro tip, foil and some glass cleaner. Works an absolute treat for chrome trim, so clean it all up. That one's for the grill. The Nexus R5 wiring's just been, so Timmy had it on the bench all laid out, and now it's been laid into the car. That's where the Nexus is going. Mounting here, through the firewall, and we're slowly going to be terminating. That's where you're up to now, are you? Terminating, that's what you're doing?
Carton to length
Yeah, okay.
and then back off and terminate.
Yeah, sweet as.
Nice new GoPro, bros.
It's nice, isn't it? Matthew. Hey, Matthew.
Hello.
How are you, man?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good. Matthew's donated his Sunday for us, and he's making up some steering shafts. You need a mill at home, don't you?
I need everything at home.
Yeah, you do. You can use this whenever you want. You know that, eh?
Yeah.
So Matt's making up the steering shafts that goes down from the column down into the intermediate bits and pieces. I think I got footage of that last time. So we've got all the glass in now too. This is all... Oh, hang on. Where's this window, Alan? Does that have to get put in now?
Yeah, it's ready to go in.
Sorted?
Struggle.
So we've got this chrome trim here. Look, you can see these rubbers here are a bit haggard, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Unless you've got a hook up for some brand new MS55 rubbers.
I don't think there is such a thing.
So this chrome trim on the top of the doors from actually the JDM model. The JDM model also had chrome trim around the tops of the door frames, but was it there, was it?
Yeah.
But these doors are actually different, so you can't put it on. We've got all new, what's that stuff called again? Bailey channel. Bailey channel in the doors. This is a felt for the window, the seal. The window is actually in the door, so we need to put that in. These windows are also from the JDM model too. It's a JDM ADM Chevrolet Crown.
JDM ADM?
Snacks.
The glass has got this like blue tinge from it. What is that blue tinge? It's like just the way.
JDM things.
What's it?
It's Pocari Sweat. They mix it in.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, that
nice.
that drink that tastes so good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Timmy's on the wiring. Everyone's got jobs to do, and we're hooking in solid. We've actually got another addition, which, Alan, I think we need to mount this Raceworks battery across, and we'll put the drink cooler 5000 in the right in here. What do you reckon? Because that fits well there. Was this going to be actually bolted in, or is that just going to be for like a bit of a laugh?
Just for power cruise.
Power cruise. Yeah, well.
The lemon squash.
What about centre console behind the shifter? You don't have a centre console?
No.
No?
That's frivolous luxuries.
Right.
We're all about just practicality here.
Sure we are. Says the guy with that mint aircon in his car.
I don't have aircon. Yeah, I've got water windows with.
John have made up fuel lines for us. John's marked them all. We still have to do another Raceworks order for stuff like some bulkheads. We need some Dash 8 ORB fittings for the top of the fuel cell there. So heaps of stuff to still go, and we're hooking in. We've got to do some painting today and get some trims on the car, and hopefully by the end of the day we'll have more of a complete vehicle, so we'll keep on hooking in.
We had a massive 3-day weekend working on the crown, getting stuck in. Big thanks to all my mates that turned up and helped out, especially to Woody for organising the whole thing. Huge effort from Timmy and Aaron on the wiring with a little bit of my help. John got stuck into the boot. We've got Raceworks fuel cell in there. We've got flex fuel carrier, bypass carrier and fuel filter, battery bracket from Raceworks as well to suit a Optima yellow top, so fancy battery, which I haven't got yet. They also ran brake pipes up the chassis rail and did a bunch of other stuff. Some of the other guys got stuck into chrome work, polishing away, just preparing and sorting out more of the chrome work. As you can see, a lot of it is now on and the windows are now in, and it really transforms the way the car looks. Woody's temporarily put the front end on there to make sure it all fits for a start and to sort of see how it looks basically. This is a massive boost to the project. We probably got as much done in 3 days as probably about a month's work in 3 days, so it's a huge boost to like my morale for the project. As you know, big jobs like this can be taxing on your bloody mental health at times, just what have I got myself into sort of feeling. So sometimes it can help to just call your mates and say, can you give me a hand? Or if you've got a mate that you know is doing a project, just ask him if he needs a hand. It's a great time hanging out with your mates in the shed. Heaps of banter, everyone's just having a chat, catching up. It's just like a party, but you're actually getting something done rather than just, eating corn chips. So
Smoko's over, Alan.
It was, you got to have a slave master called Woody. But other than that, everything went very smoothly, and I'm very grateful to everyone for their help. Also, massive thanks to Haltech, Harrop and Raceworks for being major contributors to the job. If you want to support us, support our sponsors. It all goes around in circles. Probably next up, what we got to do is finish off this wiring. I'm in the process of trimming it all down at the moment. So we got approximate lengths, and then now it's coming right down to separating each wire to each sensor or injector or coil or whatever, and cutting them off to size. The rear wiring is all done. It's ready to go. So that's powering your fuel pumps and tail lights and a few other things. And it's hooked up via a CAN line to the Haltech Nexus R5, which is under the dash here, which then controls pretty much everything else. We've got plenty left over, so if we ever want to upgrade to any more silliness, there's plenty of wires left over that we can repin back in. So now we're doing more just detail work, fitting things, and it's all sort of coming together and making it look like a proper car. So we're pretty confident about the due date. We got the interior to come back yet. As soon as I get a dash, we can put the windscreens in, or get someone to put the windscreens in, because I don't want to do it. The bonnet is away with Shane, getting modified to cover the supercharger. And what else we got to do, Woody? Exhaust system. That's all me. I'll get stuck into that in due course. Thanks for sitting through this. Thanks for watching.
Thanks again to the homies.
Thanks to the
Absolute
homies and the sponsors, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
And thanks for watching. Did you say that?
I said that about twice.
Oh, have it one more time.
Thanks for watching.